contingency out there. There is a group of people that are trying to convince Christians that Jesus was a psyop. What are your thoughts on that? I don't subscribe to this way of thinking.
Like it's fully never existed?
I mean, there's some people that think it's completely utterly contrived by the Roman Catholic Church and the Vatican. That's not my personal views, but I would love to hear somebody like Gary Wayne, who has a deep understanding of everything, what his thoughts on what that movement says.
So, yeah, you get different groups on this. So the seculars, even though they're puppets of the polytheists that control everything from the sciences and the educations and most of the world, the seculars will try and deny Jesus existed, but that's just to lead people away from God. Polytheists know Jesus survived, but then they corrupt that because they can't recognize the full truth of it. So they will reimagine Jesus as a mortal prophet, as in the teacher of righteousness, as in the Dead Sea Scrolls of the Essenes, and that he was one sent on the way, like Confucius, like Buddha, like Hermes, like all the other so-called enlightened ones that have come to help us on our path or our way to godhood. But he was not Son of God, that he was not the Word of God, that he did not die on the cross, that he survived the cross to have offspring through Mary Magdalene, which is generally the Gnostic sort of perspective on all the Gospels that they have on that. Do expect that they're going to bring out evidence to that they're going to try and deceive Christians, because they look at Christianity and the Roman Church, so Protestant and Catholicism, as their greatest threat to bringing about world government and the universal religion and making the way for Antichrist. So the best way to pretty much destroy the three monotheist main faiths, whether it's Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, is to do two things. First of all, is to de-deify Jesus back to prophet status. That satisfies the Quran, maybe not as much the Hadiths, but that's a whole different ballgame. But it's the Quran, which is their holy book. Hadiths are just commentaries written by humans, as opposed to the word being received from Gabriel to Muhammad, as the Quran states. And so it would also satisfy the Jewish people, that they could accept him as a prophet, but not the Messiah. And it would completely sort of destroy Christianity's single doctrine and reel them back into more of a Judaic or Islamic sort of perspective, from a Hadith perspective on the Islamic perspective. So it's that changing of what it says in the Quran about Jesus to what the Hadiths are saying. So that would satisfy that. The second thing they would do on that is they would look at attacking monotheism at Moses. And they will change Moses to being somebody different. Typically, it's Akhenaten, who they say Moses actually was, and that Moses was educated in Heliopolis, and he was a bloodline of the pharaohs, and that he was initiated into the mysteries. He was a master adept, that he brought polytheism and the religion of Heliopolis with Israel into the covenant land, and that it went rogue with the monarchy and monotheism. So they're going to try and hit it on all ends to roll monotheism back in. So expect really shocking, jolting evidence that they have falsified in millennia past, because they've been planning this right from the beginning of the Adamites, right from the time of Jesus and the modern version of the conspiracy. And that's why you have all of these Gnostic Gospels that were coming out from the Dead Sea. They've got more evidence than that, but it's all from their own biases, and it's all false evidence. But expect that they're going to hit Christianity right at the doctrine that Paul says if Jesus wasn't resurrected, then that's the only thing that matters in Christianity, and our faith is a lie. So they're going to hit it there, and they're also going to destroy Paul because they have to do that as well. And by the way, they'll only keep parts of the New Testament and parts of the Old Testament, and they'll throw everything else out.
Crazy. Just crazy. And you see it happening. You see it happening in this kind of giant global movement to discredit Christianity, discredit God.